the background of like birth imprints and how it can affect certain patterns in our life later on. But just like a little bit about myself, I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, specialized in obstetrics and gynecology. I've been working as a doula, full spectrum doula, for the last 6 years almost in LA, and before that in Portugal. My own like healing journey led me actually to my own birth experience, and I realized it's like how much of my patterns in the past, when I was 19, I was coping with a lot of panic attacks, and I realized that was all stemming from pregnancy and birth imprints I had. And that's what led me actually on this journey, you know, the deep healing of the panic attacks were not easy to work through, but plant medicine and meditation and all those practices have worked a lot on this and helped me so much. So I'm very excited to actually guide you into this journey without any plant medicine, and it can be sometimes as potent because our nervous system doesn't get as charged, and we still work on the limbic system where the memories are stored of those early experiences, and we can still remove those imprints. And that's where my husband is coming in, Sky. His energy work really helps shifting those deep imprints, but maybe you want to share a bit more about that.
Yeah, first I would like to ask you if you can put your camera, that's much nicer, so you can see everyone. We have a bit more of a family feeling because we are human beings at the end of the day, even if we are surrounded by technology and connects to technology, which is amazing. But it's nice to be in person. Oh, Deborah is joining also, Matt. Wow, we have a lot of beautiful beings. Andy, now I see them popping up. It's much warmer. Thanks a lot. And yeah, I was not really aware, you know, of what was this work with birth imprints. You know, I tend to really focus myself on going straight to the root. I don't care so much about past, present, future, all of that. I go where the trauma is and I remove it, and that's how I heal most people. Of course, we go into the past, you know, to the childhood and to these things. But yesterday we tried it with Suzanne. Actually, tried it on me, you know, and I was really surprised. I could see actually my birth, you know, like literally. I could see my mother, you know, at my birth, how she was, basically like stress, very a lot of fear, and putting a smile. You know, and it reminds me how I've been when I was really deeply depressed and bipolar, and I always had a smile. People couldn't see it. I was about to kill myself. I had a smile in the subway in Paris, you know, like, wow, I had a flash like that. How I've been having to cope, you know, with all these things because it has been impregnated on me, you know, like really deeply, and despite spending years in silence, doing a ton of austerities and being pretty fearless, you know, at that level, there was still in my body, you know, like a subjacent layer of fears that I would have to transcend, you know, to pass and to pass and to pass, which I get used to do that, you know, like a transformation machine, but it wouldn't really leave a ground of peace. And so when we did that yesterday with Suzanne, I was like really surprised actually to see that leaving, you know, like from my body. And today is the first day, but I kind of know, you know, when something really work or not. I know when it's solid, you know, like the shift, and it feels really shifted, you know, like the ground has shifted. So it's a beautiful, profound work, and clearing the past help really. I'm a lot about the future myself, help really access, you know, like the future and all our possibilities. So it works hand in hand together, and so that's why I'm very excited to do this work today with all of you. I would ask you to set a very strong intention because that's really key. You know, for myself, I didn't know exactly what to expect because I didn't know what was the trauma, but I set my intention to really, I asked God, you know, me, I call that God, that force, that energy, to really make it work, you know, to really remove whatever is in the way, you know, of my constant peace to make it work. And then it has helped me see that and removing it. So we all have like to have a very clear and strong intention.
Sharing the
do you need to share now?
We're working here with 2 different screens. That's why you see Sky pop.
Yeah, I'm becoming a high-tech guy now.
Yeah. We're almost there. Okay, we can skip the first 2 slides then.
Okay, so everybody can see the slide. Yeah.
Some people singing, which is really nice. I love the voices in the background.
Everybody's mute. Voila, now you should be able to move them.
So we went already a bit into my background, Sky's background. So the birth imprints. So what it is actually a memory that our body has stored in our subconscious, our body and our mind, in our subconscious mind. And what it actually is that it's a moment in time where we were not able to discharge the energy from that event. So when it gets triggered, so it's different. The trigger is basically the aftermath of the imprint, right? So when it gets triggered, we are kind of defaulting in that same pattern that was created at the moment when we were faced with like a traumatic event. So we can go to the next slide. Yeah. So why is it so crucial to go deeper into our birth experience? And even before birth, the pregnancy, the conception, and even the discovery phase has shown basically that it leaves significant imprints in our system that defines patterns later on in our life. And why is this the case? Because our brain is then in a heightened state of plasticity. So a lot of neural pathways are developed at that time. They say basically the first 2 to 3 years of a child's life is where the foundation is laid, but especially the 9 months during pregnancy, the first trimester, you have the reptilian brain that is created. The second trimester, it's the limbic brain, and the third trimester, it is the neocortex. So that's basically a big foundation of our nervous system that is developed during pregnancy.
So some people say they don't see the slides.
They don't see it.
I don't think anyone can see them.
Yeah.
No, probably if some cannot see it, then
So,
I don't think anyone can.
okay.
There. Now I've got it.
Okay.
great. So in the third trimester, the neocortex is formed. And then right after birth, our prefrontal lobes are created. So that's actually our spiritual connection, our intuitive connection. So that's why right at the birth and after the birth, it's so important that you're held and supported and in this safe place to actually develop this deeper connection, this deeper level of trust in life. Yesterday I did again this meditation on myself, and I keep like unpeeling layers of the birth experience, and I realized that actually right after birth, when I came out, that I was like brushed like super roughly, and that it gave kind of this idea of like I'm not fully safe. You imagine like you're 9 months in the womb and you're like rubbed really roughly after birth, so that gives that imprint of okay, life is rough literally. And why birth especially is important as well is because there are endorphins released, and anything that comes together with endorphins creates addiction. So if the mother is in a state of peace, there's a lot of oxytocin released as well. That means that later on in life, you're getting addicted or like wired to attract situations in life that are releasing oxytocin. If your mother was in a high stress kind of environment, she was releasing cortisol, and that makes you more wired to stressful situations in life. One thing that you said the other day, like, oh, I'm always very rushed in life, or have been. The last 3 months, I did a huge effort to slow down. And one of the things that my mother experienced during birth is that she was induced, and I was born in 5 hours, which is pretty crazy fast. But for her, it was so intense because she was on all those synthetic medicines that were like, yeah, cutting basically the natural flow of those hormones. So even if you think about endorphins, and nowadays you have all these other like interventions where they're giving the mother, for example, epidural or even opiates to kill the painkillers. That means that babies can be later on in life addicted to those medicines more easily, because your brain was in such an open state and such a heightened state of plasticity, all those things like were really ingraining and wiring your nervous system. You can go to the next one. Yeah. So we want to unlock them, to become conscious of them, because we can heal those imprints as soon as we become conscious of them. Why it's also important is a lot of our generations before didn't have the tools, right? And it creates only one person to decide, to have the intention to stop them. And that's why we wanted to do this event, to stop all those generational patterns and set us up for more like thriving situations in life. So a few of those examples. So to show you what the effects can be of a birth event and things later on life. For example, in Holland, we have the lowest rates of suicide among the youth. And one of the reasons they say in this study is that we have also the lowest birth interventions happening. France, for example, has way higher levels of birth interventions, and the suicide rates are higher there. The same goes with Sweden, has lower birth intervention, and also there the suicide rates are lower. Separation from the mother right after birth has shown to create more violence in people's lives. People are more likely to commit violent crimes. Even this well-known French philosopher, he was apparently also separated from his mom, and he is basically the forefather of this like super dualistic way of looking at life. His name was Descartes.
Descartes.
Yeah, you know how to pronounce it. That's why we have the French here.
It's been helping to kill France,
Yeah.
connection to the divine, basically.
Yeah, not only France, I think whole Europe, and even it was like one of the colonists' ideas, and that has permeated like America and everywhere, right? The disconnect from nature, the separation of animals and human beings. Then another one is if the mother or even the family feels, so if the father is in survival mode, they even have shown that we're creating a field as a couple together. And that field, if that's charged with survival or with thriving like states, will basically impact how the reptilian brain is shaped, the limbic brain. So the whole nervous system is like affected by that. And I want to say though, because there might be a few people pregnant in this group right now, this is not to even bring more responsibility on the women, because I know after working with so many women that there is already a lot of responsibility that we're feeling in our bodies when we want to become a mom or when we're about to be a mom. However, it's more to like share this information and also share tools to unpack your own birth experience so that you can become more that your nervous system can actually calm down more, so that you can create the space you want to. And also you can heal from all those things. So even if your birth doesn't go exactly as planned or how you would like to prevent these traumas and all of that, still we can heal with somatic work, with meditation, with hypnosis afterwards as well. So this is not to put more responsibility on you all. And then painful interventions, what they've seen in this study is that painful interventions can actually make you feel more guilty later in life as well for other people's suffering. So you know that some people are so overly empathic, right? So they might feel responsible for all the suffering in the world. That is possible. Perhaps you were in the womb and you witnessed your mom on this other level, right? In your subconscious brain, you witnessed your mom going through these painful procedures, and therefore you thought that your presence in this world comes together with like suffering, or that you are the cause of that suffering. Anyway, that I think is a good, then there are like more examples that we can go further. So here are some other examples, some great books. The Secret Life of Babies, I really love this. But even like physical things, you can go back. The Secret Life of Babies is really beautifully written. It has and some research, but mainly more life experiences. The mind of your newborn baby is a more scientific like way to look at this. I think that was our
That's good.
in a nutshell,
That was our
the
lecture.
theory. Sky usually doesn't like much theory because he says the vibration goes down with that. So do the energetic work. I don't know if there are any questions or any comments so far. Can drop it in the chat. Barbara has a good recommendation. Okay. So I want to invite you, if there are no questions, there's one message, if you can.
Yeah, Thomas was being strangled by umbilical cord.
Okay. Well, that's happening to 10% of all the babies. The problem, though, is, Thomas, is that the hospital or the medical team is wired to think of that as an emergency. And that's why it creates, actually, it leaves a bigger imprint probably on people than if you were, for example, received at home with a midwife who fully trusted the process, who knows that in 10 to 15% of all the births, the umbilical cord is wrapped around the throat. So that would have changed probably also how you've been feeling. But thank you so much for sharing also that you were going through that rough time in your life. I hope that this meditation can give you an opportunity to discharge that event.
So we're going to start our journey. So a few advice, for that. Don't force anything. Like really let whatever is coming. You may see things, you may feel things, you may hear things. You may just feel calm, and quiet. Do not force, because if you try to force to create, we're gonna give you some visualization guidance, some different clues. But if you try to force them with your mind, it creates the opposite effect. So just trust, just let's come, whatever is coming to you. Like just be in the flow, like a child, like you entering, like a game, and you see what happened. Just be open, like relax, the most relaxed possible without forcing, and you see whatever is coming, like with you. Do you have other recommendations before?
Yeah, especially when we're going to do any like removal, so clearing of our system, and you feel any resistance coming up, or you feel like this is not working, call in your guide, call in any guide. If you don't have a guide, call in Archangel Michael or a golden dragon force. Usually those two are pretty universal and can really help cutting those cords, because it's often our mind coming in the way of thinking like, I cannot clear this, or so.
And you can call God, you can call the source,
Whatever.
you can call the truth, whatever you connect the strongly. That's what I suggest, like whatever is your direct connection, the stronger connection, call for that. Because the just fact to call, for force, it opens the way for that force to come within you. And so it gives more power to that force to help you. Just like the fact to set your intention is similar. When you set the intention, like you're literally opening a gateway. Your sword, consciousness is a sword of light. When you set a strong intention, you're opening the way for the force, for the energy to come and do the work. So like be open, but at the same time clear, firm, and decisive.
Okay.
We begin?
Yeah. Welcome, Marley. You just dropped in at the right time because we're starting with the meditation now. All the other people might need to wait. Okay. So close your eyes. Make yourself feel comfortable. And take a moment to fully arrive into this moment. Use your inhales to become more and more present in your body. And with every inhale coming, you bring in softness and relaxation. Use your exhales to release any tension, any lingering thoughts, any to-dos. Use your exhales with intention to let go deeper and deeper. Soften your face. Your jaw is slightly relaxed. Your throat and neck are open and relaxed. And with the next inhale, you're going to bring in a golden light, a kind of misty light. You're bringing it in every single piece and part of your body, permeating it with softness and relaxation. Your belly is soft and relaxed. Your hips are slightly open and soft. And bring that golden mist all the way into your legs. Deeper into your feet. Until your whole body becomes fully open and relaxed. I'm going to count down from 5 till 0. And when we reach 0, your active mind fully switches off and you're surrendering to this deepest state of peace and harmony. You're entering the subconscious and another reality. Use your inhales to bring more presence in every single moment. And use your exhales to release thoughts, judgments. 5, 4, 3. You're sinking into this deeper state of peace, surrendering to every breath. 2, 1, 0. You're entering this portal right now. It's a light blue portal with a golden circle. You're going to swim almost through that portal because you become lighter and lighter. Entering this soft, silky cloud, which is lifting you up higher and higher.
We're going to call a few forces to guide us, to heal us, to show us the way. We're calling in the divine source, all creation, things and beings. Going to call in our beautiful sacred mother Gaia, the earth. We're going to call in all the spirit of the light, all the mothers of the light, Mother Shakti, Mother Kuan Yin, Mother Lakshmi, Mother Kali, Mother Saraswati, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalena, Sophia, calling in all the spirits of the heavens, Lord Buddha, Maitreya, Lord Buddha, Amitabha, Shakyamuni Buddha, Jesus Christ, healing force, calling in Archangel Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and all the light beings, all the guides, all the healers, the teachers of everyone here present. Please activate our energies, connect our energies, the grid, the 0 point, and help us all go through the root of our imprint, of our pain, of these things we carry every day, so we can identify it and remove it really clearly. So you keep gently floating into this cloud, and you're going to drop your awareness around your heart, and very gently moving your energy counterclockwise, kind of create like a vortex of liquid gold, beautiful liquid gold. Again, doesn't have to be visual, it's more feeling. If you see, it's great. If you feel, it's great too. And as you move gently, you steer gently this vortex counterclockwise, you let drop every fear, every expectation, every doubt, anything you don't want, basically, anything that's in the way of your peace, you let it drop and vanish into the vortex. And as you remove obstructions, negativities, you feel more peace, you feel more space, you feel more love, you feel more faith, and more time.
And as you're letting go, you feel lighter and lighter. This cloud is lifting you up higher and higher. You start to see the earth underneath you, your home. This cloud is lifting you up in the sky. You're entering the blue space of the sky around you. And you're going higher and higher. And as you're letting go, you start to pierce this veil and entering this other dimension, floating in a blue, light pink space. It feels very silky and soft and gentle. You might even notice that you're becoming this multi-dimensional being, one with the space around you. And as you witness, you see pink and blue clouds coming from all directions with peace, with gentleness. They're passing, and you're just observing. And whenever a thought comes in the way, you just slide it through the cloud, allowing yourself to be fully here in this silky pink blue space that you're in. You're held by those angelic beings, all in different shades of light colors. They're floating around you, supporting you. And the next pink cloud that is passing, you start to notice something. The pink cloud is bringing you back to the most crucial moment at your birth, the most crucial event that is still impacting your life right now. Allow visions to come through hearing, visions, feelings, sensations. Allow the information to come in whatever shape or form. You start to connect with your mother at birth. You're seeing her clearly in the space right before you were born, after you were born. The most crucial event is just becoming very vivid and clear right in front of you right now. Notice your mom's face. What was her expression telling you? What was her posture like? You're connecting from your heart to this experience, from your heart to her heart. And you're observing without any filter. What was she communicating or not communicating? Allow the series of events to unfold in front of you. This pink cloud is this clear screen right in front of you. Who was in the space around her? Or perhaps she was by herself. Now you go deeper into her body, into her womb space, where you are floating in the fluid of life. Notice what it felt like to be in her womb at that time. Did it feel spacious or perhaps contracted? And observe even your face. What was your facial expression like? How were you responding to your mother's sensations? How was your body posture affected by what was happening? Where did you store perhaps in your body that moment in time? Allow the information to come to you through hearing, seeing, sensing. Do you observe any object or color in your body where you stored that memory? And trust what you see. We're going to remove that imprint from your system in a counterclockwise motion. And through that motion, we're going to give it back to our mother and helping her dissolve it later. First, remove it from your system, counterclockwise motion. Just trust the energy to move through you, releasing this imprint from your system. Let it slide through the vortex, down through the cloud, all the way down towards the earth. You might need to activate the vortex with your imagination, with your visualization. Or perhaps the energy is naturally flowing through you right now. Allow yourself to release and to let go. Now envision your mother in front of you, connecting with her heart to heart. Express your deep reverence and gratitude to her, providing life, for her doing everything she could in that moment so that you could come into this life. Ask your guides right now to release it from your lineage, to release any sensations that were limiting her from fully expressing or fully feeling safe, whatever it was. Ask your guides to fully release it from your system, from your lineage, right here, right now, in all timelines and all dimensions. You can use the vortex if you want to remove it that way. We're going to come back to our heart center, activating that energy space right now with new qualities, with new affirmations for your nervous system. What was you, the young version of you, the baby self? What was it that you had to hear in that moment when you made your entrance into the world? And use now the clockwise motion to imprint yourself with those qualities, starting in your heart. You can visualize either a golden light going in a clockwise motion, a vortex shape into your heart space, permeating all the layers, all the tissues, cells of your being, all layers of your being, with those qualities that you needed to hear. You're welcome, you're safe, you're supported. permeated all of your heart space. Now we're going to move that clockwise vortex towards the spinal cord, the first part of your nervous system that was developed in the womb. Bring that golden light around your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down into your sacrum. And moving that energy slowly up again, vertebrae by vertebrae, permeating every cell, every layer of your existence with peace, safety. Bring it up into the neck, the vertebrae in the neck, all the way into the lower part of your head, the reptilian brain. And now permeating that instinctive part of your behavior with a thriving state of being. You're wired now for safety, for relaxation, for softness. You're moving it into the center of our brain, the limbic brain, permeating now all memories, emotions, with those qualities. And that golden light is permeating again every layer, every cell. Bringing it up to the neocortex. All our thoughts will be wired right now to attract experiences in our life that are regulating our nervous system, that are expansive. Experiences that make us receive life with trust, with faith. So we're permeating now our whole nervous system, the somatic nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, all the branches of our central nervous system with that golden light, permeating all layers, all nerves, all cells, all messengers with safety and peace. And use the golden light in clockwise motion to create those new imprints. So think about your final keywords, qualities, sensations that you want to permeate your field with. And use those words as a mantra to go throughout your day, starting at least the morning and the evening with that mantra. And slowly we're coming back to our cloud. Submersed in that pink, light blue, soft velvety energy. Fully relaxed. Fully softened.
So you keep gently floating into this cloud. And now we're going to reconnect with our new story, our vision, our new feeling, what we want to create for ourselves. Like connect with this feeling, with this vision, this desire. And we're going to create a very strong imprint, our chosen imprint. So you can use a beautiful turquoise golden light. And as you connect with this feeling, with this vision, you weave it clockwise around your heart plexus. Infusing again whole body, your whole system with it. And you're going to extend it around you to protect yourself, to keep that peace, that light, that connection, that desire. So you wear that energy all around you to shield yourself like a newborn, creating your own space, being the director now of your life, of your story. The full creator of it. And you're going to bring that energy down, down, down into the earth to root it into the mother. To ground yourself. To be able to live in that peace, in that light, in that space, 2 feet on earth. At work, at play, at rest, at all times. And we're going to connect these shields of energy with everyone here, today or tonight, connecting our grid, thanking everyone here tonight to prepare, to bring your energies, to connect, to open, to transform, to shift your frequency and the planet's frequency, sharing your love, And we're going to thank all the light forces, all the gods, deities, spirits, supporting us, helping us today, all the time, to clear and align and activate. And ask them one last time to keep us safe, to keep our mind clear, our heart open, and our body strong and healthy. So we can all bring more light, more peace, and more faith into the earth.
We slowly can come back to the space that we're in. Noticing perhaps our breath again. Maybe you want to move your body. To come fully back into this moment. Take your time. Is there anyone who is already slightly back and feels like sharing?
And before we share, even in parallel, if you can drop in the chat, because we always look at it after, what's been your experience? Because that's something we want also to keep doing, and to keep building. So what you've been seeing, what you've been feeling, what you've been shifting, if you did, or what you've been struggling with as well. So we can answer all of that. So please let us know. And if you feel like it, you can put back your cameras. Is there anyone who wants to share your experience? I shared mine yesterday. That was pretty great.
Diana, would you like to share anything with the group about massive shifting in your neck, base, and skull? Was that during the vortex? That
I'll talk. I think I was knocked out cold for the first 30-40 minutes, and I woke up right when you were talking about you were in the neck, which is where I have a lot of my problems, right in the base of my neck. I get bad migraines that start there. And there was just I don't know, like awakening, like just a massive shift. I'm going to be hopeful. It feels really good. I felt pretty horrible all day today, and it just felt like a massive shift. So we'll see.
Do you know by chance anything about your birth story? Because
I know my mother was 18. I know it wasn't easy. I know it was complicated. So that's all I know.
Okay. Yeah, with forceps deliveries are often connected to the migraine. So if you can we will send you the recording. If you keep practicing this, then
I will.
for sure things
Thank
will
you.
keep shifting.
Yeah, thank you.
And also, Katie is raising her hand.
Hi. It was really interesting as I got into the birth experience. I had had a vision a long time ago of looking up, and it was a row of windows close to the ceiling that light was coming through, and that's what I saw first. And then I realized as we went further, because that's all I ever saw in any of my own birth experiences before. But this time, because you led us further and further into it, I realized that my mother had had a birth. They used to do them. I think Queen Victoria started it, but they would knock the mother right out with
Twilight birth, yeah.
yeah, they call it a twilight birth, yeah.
Mhm.
And so I felt the shift inside the womb, and when we went inside the womb, when that changed, I felt her go limp, and I pulled back and thought, it's not safe. I've lost her. I can't find the connection. And then I felt the forceps. I literally felt pressure at the very, like physically felt it right as we did this here and then the twisting of my head. And I literally went back through it. Like I never and my mother didn't know because she was in that, she didn't know they used forceps either, but they did. And I know the part of me was pulling back in and they were pulling me out. When I actually came out, this time because you were guiding us to do it, I looked at her and I thought she was dead. I couldn't connect to her heart. I couldn't connect to her, and I panicked. I was panicking. I couldn't breathe. I felt the slap, they did that in those days, is whack the kid. And I felt that, and I was just panicked. And I always felt that as I looked at her on the birthing table, that she was like not there. She was like out of it. And I wasn't given to her for 2 days after the birth. And so into a nursery with other people looking after you and just no connection. And we know that infants will bond with machinery if they can't bond with the, eyes and connect. And so the few nurses that were available, but there's a complete kind of a feeling inside me. It was a complete feeling of, oh, that I'm not supposed to be here. Just let go and don't strive to be here. Just let go. And the strength was that I had that capability, I guess, to stay, but I never felt connected to my mother this whole lifetime. She died when I was quite young, and when she was passing, I felt like I had a few months with her before she died, but I always felt deeply disconnected from her. I couldn't get the connection, I just couldn't get it. And I think sometimes she reached out to try and get it with me, but it just wasn't there. So this was really profound because I'd seen those windows before. I've done some other birth experience. I'd seen them before and they were right there. And going back into the womb again, really, amazing. So I put a ton of great affirmations in there, starting off with I am enough and I'm wanted and I'm loved, and affirmed myself tremendously. So, and wound that. So we'll see what happens. Thank you so much. Thank you.
For that heartfelt share.
Thank you so much.
Truly, I could feel it in my whole body. My only question was, like you said, that panicky feeling, right? Is that something also that kept coming back sometimes throughout your life, the panicky feeling, or not?
It did many times in my life, and it's only, well, for about the past 35 years, I've been teaching meditation and meditation groups, and I work in hospice and I help people that are, transitioning. So I'm constantly working with sort of the life and death transitions, and the most beautiful experience. And I'm also a labor coach and a birth coach as well. And so I'm at the two bookends of life and death. That's where I spend my time. And invariably in the hospitals, you have the labor room is here and you know, palliative care is over here, and they're very close in the hospitals too. So
Yeah.
I've spent my life in that
Mhm.
area of work, and I love it.
Yeah.
Because I really
I-
do feel it. So powerful.
I hope that this rewiring practice you can keep doing so that you get rid of the panic for good.
By the way, I studied with several of the really
Yeah, we
top.
have, sorry, Katie, we have
Yeah,
other
we
people
have to
who
go.
want to
Raise your hands.
share the
I was going to say
experience.
in Holland, yes, the
Oh, in
midwives
Holland.
there.
I would love
Beautiful.
to connect with you after because I love
Okay,
to
for
meet
sure.
other labor
Okay.
and delivery.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And one thing also I was reading in the comments, from Amy, that she had an experience and she wants to keep clearing it. And yes, you should, we're gonna send a recording, and that's the type of thing which is good to do it again, because you'll be able to access a deeper level. You will be able to have more control over it, and clear it. So do it as many times as you need, like this type of practice. Brenda.
Hi.
Oh.
This was really profound. I've been doing family constellation for a long time, and my mother had a terrible miscarriage, really traumatic, before me. And during this, I could actually see, I could feel the umbilical cord and feel the fluids flowing through. And I was terrified about it being cut. And I could go through that and then lost my connection with my mother. And I could feel being in the, and see being in the doctor's or the nurse's arms, and just felt scattered energy and frantic energy around me. And it felt very overwhelming. And I got to my mother, and my mother never sees me in constellation, like truly sees me. And I was able to be held by her and go through the feelings of feeling unseen, and then bring in the energy of the miscarriage, which was a brother. So I was able to bring him in and say that I'm number two, and feel okay being number two, acknowledge him and see him. And that just brought in that, it kind of dissolved that energy. He's there. And then my dad came in, and I could sit with all of us. And what came through was that I could feel all of our guides and all of our energy as well. That I'm protected, I'm safe, and that I can trust life. So thank you. I just want to share that.
Thank you, Brenda. You will have strong experiences. Someone else wants to share the experience? Yeah, for me, it felt very similar. I was feeling so much fear. And so part of me was saying, well, I'm not supposed to, to come here. It's hostile. And my mother told me that for the first 3 years, I was crying all the time. Okay, I understand why. Because that creates like such an important cornerstone, like with your life. And it's very good to rewire after that positively, to really bring, I could feel that also, really bring that I am welcome. No, I'm really like supposed to be here, and that helps your whole body.
Remke, I see you. You have a very Dutch name, so I'm interested. You said something that you could connect with your parents when they were young. Do you want to share a little bit more about that, or you feel complete with your share in the chat?
Oh yes, I will share. And yes, my name is very Dutch. When I went back to the birth, I saw my mom when she was young, and my father as well. The birth went really fast, but it was okay. So, but it was funny to see how they were young, how they looked young compared to now. And I even my guides were then there while during my birth.
You felt that during the meditation you saw your guides, that they were actually there during the birth.
No, they watched me get born that day.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you felt that support in a way.
Yeah.
That's great. Anyone else?
Thomas.
Thomas?
Yeah,
Susan,
Thomas. Okay.
Susan.
Susan is like, yeah, you can go ahead, Susan.
Oh. Okay. So, because I can't tell whether you can hear me and I can't turn off my mute now, but thank you for saying my name. So, I think I shared the last time we were together how mom had passed recently. Anyway, I was born in Rome in a clinic and I was a cesarean. So, like some of the other speakers, when I came out, I was anxious and screaming and crying because mama was asleep. So I didn't have that connection immediately with mom because I was a cesarean. So they lifted me out, but she was knocked out. And I was only 4 pounds. So I was tiny and separated from her to be in an incubator. And also she had pneumonia, so she wasn't well. So I have changed that anxiety and coming out crying and screaming and having the first little part of my life where I didn't get to be with mom because I was too tiny and she was sick. I've changed that to the golden light around mama and I, and I'm lifted up as a little cesarean. I'm lifted out, and even though mama's asleep, we're connected with a golden light all around us. And my new birth story is that I'm not anxious. Oh, and I'll let you know that when I was a young child, I used to scream and cry whenever my mom left the room because of that, because of what that birth was like. I had a real separation anxiety, and she couldn't leave me with babysitters or anything because I had had such a traumatic birth. But now I have changed the birth to coming out and being surrounded by golden light, and then and I surrounded by light and feeling really peaceful in our practice, what we just did, so that I am not going to be. I'm changed the story from being anxious all the time to being surrounded by beautiful light and mama and I connecting, blazing light on each other, and that my little baby is surrounded by golden light, and that I've pictured a really beautiful nurse was caring for me well mama couldn't, and so that's what I've changed it to. Thank you guys.
Beautiful.
And one suggestion also, keep changing it. No, because when you start really deciding for your life, for what you want, you have to keep doing it. You know, it's not a one time for all. No, where we work here, it's solid, it's at the root, you know, in the 0 point energy field. So it's really shifting energetically. But then you are asked also to become the actor of that, you know, like the director
I will.
of that. So it's
Oh.
Of the new story,
of the
basically.
new story. You know, so like
Oh.
keep reassessing the story, because the other one, you know, is a transition basically where it keep playing, but it's been
I
playing
will.
for a long time. So each
I'll
time
keep
you remember that new story.
I'll keep wrapping the golden light around the little baby, me, the little baby, at practice building and strengthening the new story. Thank you.
Good. Anna, you also had one. Share the last one, and let's say the almost last one. Anna, you felt like a feeling in your womb.
Yeah, I started to feel like a really uncomfortable pain in my womb area, like a really strong colic that I used to get on my first years of my menstruation. When I just started, every cycle I had that pain, and then it went away, and I felt that same pain again right at the beginning of the meditation, and then at some point it just disappeared completely. It was very strong.
Beautiful.
So you could shift it.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I don't know what that pain means, but it feels good to not have it.
I mean, the energy is often going to point, you know, where there's the root. Basically, it goes directly, you know, like the force where you have the root of it, and so then you can bring awareness there, and you can remove it. So
And
like this.
especially with those type of symptoms, you know, where we don't know exactly the root from, it's very likely that it's a pre-verbal time, right? Where we hadn't have the verbiage, or how do you say it, the words to even analyze the situation, right? So the same thing with panic attacks. Often they come because we also don't know where it's coming from, especially when they happened at birth. And once we know, like, oh, this is the cause, this is the root of it, we can clear them. But it's the same with pain, like pain that like all kinds of treatments cannot like resolve, is because basically it was in this like pre early times of our lives, right? Where we didn't have that conscious memory yet. Andy was still raising his hand.
Yeah, Andy.
Thank you.
Hawaii.
From Hawaii, Mexico, Hawaii. It's not bad places, huh? Anna and Andy.
Yeah, so I'll just share briefly because I know we're wrapping up. What came through for me during this experience was just a huge compassion for my mother, and just something that I really carried with me is you know, I don't know a lot about astrology, but I have like five planets in Capricorn, and I know that Capricorn can be a tendency to have like a perfectionist or harsh or judgmental kind of energy with it. And really what I felt was just this sense from my mom of needing to do things right, and needing to have my birth be the right way and to not mess it up in some way. And I know that harsh critic, that perfectionism, that judgment really can play out in my life really easily if I don't continue to learn and welcome this gentleness and just the invitation for all the layers, aspects that come with that. So just being able to have compassion for my mom and for myself in really being ready to shift that pattern of like, it's like you brought me here, and there's a lot of beauty and gifts that you show up with that I learned from, and there's a lot that needs to shift, you know, beyond that, and that I can willingly and with honor take on the responsibility of looking at that and carrying forward the generational healing. So in a nutshell, that's a little bit of my experience. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, indeed.
Deeper understanding sounds like it. Andy. Nadine, is there something you would like to share? Like, I see your shiny face. If you want to stay silent, that's okay too.
Hi.
Hi.
I didn't know if we were at time.
We can have one last share.
I have an interesting birth story. I didn't realize it until I sat with an emotion code healer, and she read that I had terror and horror in me, and I was like, wow, I don't even watch scary movies, and that isn't really an emotion I feel. And she read back and saw that it was in the womb, and so I asked my mom, and she was just like, yes, things were okay. Your father wasn't here. She was in Switzerland, so across the world. And then I did some research, and I saw that there was a war, of course, in the Middle East where my mom is from, but she was not there. So her parents were there. So she was probably in that anxiety the whole time of troops were being sent into Beirut, and she was in the US. And so I'm very interested in, and oh gosh, so many things you said resonated. When the mother is in anxiety, that you know, puts us in this like we're prone to stress. And
was the meditation at all, like, Nadine, was it helping at all to like see, get a new insight
Yes.
or clear anything of that experience?
Yes, there was such beauty there, and connecting with her and sharing compassion and actually easing the whole situation, and emanating peace and safety to her throughout it, and peace and safety, just bringing her a grounded certainty that everyone is safe, everyone is protected. So I found myself doing that, even it's a little fetus or a little ready to pop out, but that was interesting. The golden light was so healing. Beautiful work. I'd love to continue following your path and see if we can continue working together.
Yeah, you can check the replay. Someone else, I think Angela was it, that asked, we will send the recording to everyone. And Angela, thank you for sharing in the chat as well that you would like to develop more compassion. And Nadine, thank you for sharing that experience. So you will have the recording and you can keep doing the meditation.
Yeah, and all the meditation we do, they're on the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/cat.energetics. So you can redo them, because all this meditation, we build them in a way that it opens a lot of energy, like the first time you do it. But when you go back to it, the energy is already enmeshed, charged with it. So you can replay it like whichever one you need for that.
Yeah, we're sharing the Calendly link. So if you want to book a call with Sky about any of the work that we're doing, you can drop the, oh, you have it there.
Or
Yeah.
with Suzanne, we're just going to use one.
Yeah, I mean, you can book a call through that link, and in that way we can see how to continue doing this work. You're now on the mailing list. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, except I mean, I know a lot of you here, but not everyone. So I don't know how familiar you are, with moving your energy clockwise, anti-clockwise. But that's the core technique I share, with my program Potential. A lot of participants are here actually, so that's why for them it's kind of obvious. But that's a technique. If you practice it, you can heal. That's literally how I'm healing, helping people here, like cancer, Crohn's disease, Lyme disease, all type of disease, neuropathy, emotional, mental, at all level, just using that simple technique to drop into your heart and to start moving your energy anti-clockwise to open, and then to clear, and then clockwise to reactivate and to manifest. And so when you practice that regularly, that's what we start doing, I mean, with Andy, who's here, with his team also, Erika, Barbara also, Brenda, you start feeling the shift more and more, because it's easier to connect, it's easier to access that, it's quicker. And then you start applying it with everything, and you can do it also with other people, which reinforces it. So people who do that regularly, their life is shifting, like tremendously, because having experiences like that is beautiful. For me, it allows sometimes deep shifts, deep transformation. But at the end of the day, we have to have a regular practice, to be able to really anchor that into our life, into our field. And so I really, suggest to everyone to practice. There's a lot of free resources, on the YouTube channel, on the website. You can access them. If you want to go deeper with Suzanne and I, you can book a call. But yeah, practice your connection with the divine, because we all have this power like within us, and we all can heal literally everything. And one thing I want to add, healing is great, but it's time also to move forward. There's a lot more. I realize there's a lot of people, and I've been the same, caught into the healing, the trauma healing, emotional healing, all of that. And it's good to set yourself also a bar, to say, okay, I've been doing a lot of work, or most of you here, I'm sure, I don't know everyone, but you've been doing a lot of work. And to set a bar when you say, okay, now I want to be done with that, because your intention is so more powerful. If you stay in a healing loop your whole life, you're going to stay your whole life, and you're going to find many teachers and healers who are going to be very happy with that. But if you decide basically to get out of it, you can get out of it. And then there's a lot of new steps, to expand. And really, with the shift now, that's happening to a species, it's important to start going forward, and to say, okay, let's heal, and then let's expand, and let's really shift ourselves and the planet together. So that's my core message for today.
Yeah, and we have our first, well, actually our second live retreat on the 12th and 13th of October in Ojai. If you want to go deeper into the birth imprints, because today we went to the birth, but we want to go to conception, discovery, the whole trajectory, because that was where basically our whole nervous system was wired and developed. So we go deeper into that during this 2-day retreat in Ojai in October, second weekend of October. You will receive more information on that via email. And if you sign up before the 5th of August, we have a pretty nice deal.
Yeah, we also for this retreat, we give you the details, it's not the time yet, but what we're gonna start with that part with really, and we're gonna go again into that, really clearing all past imprint to like be a blank slate, to really restart basically your life or start your life, fresh and new. That will be the first day, and then we move forward. And what we really want everyone to do is to channel and to download your own story, your new story, really from your guidance, not from your mind, not like, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that. We don't care about that. Like really directly from source, what is your purpose here? What can you be? And so the process we build, and I do that with my participants also in the group in Potential. We do it with Suzanne. We help people access that. It's not us telling you what's your story. It's like we did today. You're going to access your own guidance and you're going to channel it. And then we want everyone to live, and to build the story, like to have all these tools. So the retreat will help basically from the beginning to the future, to really activate that. So we'll let you know more soon.
Yeah. Well, enjoy your evenings. I hope you all are relaxed right now and settled. So.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
For showing up and sharing so much, sensible things and energy. Thank you.